Coming up on today's episode of Airborne-Unlimited, private jet company sues after being denied access to airport. Racers gear up for the 48th annual Women's Air Race Classic. Failure to launch. Gilmour's Cockatoo is not guilty. Welcome to Airborne Unlimited. I'm your host, Holland Lee. Let's get into today's stories. Private jet company sues after being denied access to airport. Private jet services recently filed a lawsuit against Westchester County and upper leadership at the Westchester County Airport for alleged discrimination. The filing claims that the company's jets were denied access to the airport, while other similar charter flights were welcomed with open arms. The dispute follows issues with access to Westchester County Airport, HPN, for Boeing 757-200 charter flights. The company claims that it was told no, while Delta Airlines, flying what appeared to be nearly identical aircraft for the New York Knicks and Rangers, somehow got a yes. The complaint was filed in the Southern District of New York against Westchester County and April Gaspari, the executive director of aviation at HPN. PJS alleges that despite following all the usual safety procedures and being well within operational norms, airport officials implemented vague and unpublished rules that limited how many 757s could be on the ground. These rules, oddly enough, didn't seem to apply when Delta was flying the local sports celebrities. Public flight records indicate that Delta 757-200s came and went from HPN on days when PJS's equivalent aircraft were turned away. PJS is seeking declaratory and injunctive relief, ensuring them more ready access to HPN in the future. The case, 25 CV 04820, is now part of the Southern District of New York's docket. After the break, Tennessee skydiving plane goes down after hitting trees.
Looking for a new generation of proven and efficient aviation power plants that boast modern engineering, electronic ignition, and both direct and gear drive systems? With 100 horsepower to 240 horsepower, the Skyline and Redline engines offer uncommon value in an overpriced industry. Whether you are looking for fixed wing or rotor, MWFly Americas has been established to service the American market with dedication and expertise. MWFlyAmericas.com. The legendary BD4C program is building an exciting future for those who want a rugged four-seat family flyer with a proven history. The SureWings program produces a complete kit and builder assist program that gives you everything you need to be flying a BD4CS in record time. For conventional kit builders, BD Aviation has parts, partial kits, and full kits for the 190-mile-per-hour BD4C that has logged thousands of hours. Visit SureWings.com and BDAviation.com for more details.
Welcome back. Now let's take a trip around the patch for some shorter stories. Tennessee skydiving plane goes down after hitting trees. A skydiving plane carrying 20 people crashed shortly after takeoff near Tullahoma Regional Airport in Tennessee on Sunday, June 8th. The accident occurred around 12:30 near the Beechcraft Heritage Museum. The aircraft involved was identified as a DHC-6 Twin Otter, registered as November 166 Delta Hotel. According to the city of Tullahoma, the plane had taken off from the Tullahoma Regional Airport just minutes before clipping some trees on departure and crashing onto Old Shelbyville Road. Of the 20 people on board, 4 individuals sustained more serious injuries. MD Helicopters unveils entrant for Army Flight School NG. MD Helicopters announced the unveiling of its MD-530F, a new training aircraft to directly reflect the demands of the U.S. Army's Flight School Next Vision for the next generation of Army aviation pilots. Beyond being simply a commercial adaptation, its handling characteristics are closely similar to those of a UH-50M Blackhawk, AH-64E Apache, and CH-47F Chinook. This is due in large part to the MD-530F's fully articulated 5-blade rotor system. President Trump removes barriers to supersonic flight. President Donald Trump issued an executive order on June 6th that, among other things, directs the FAA to rescind the prohibition of supersonic flight in the U.S. over land, establishes noise-based certification standards, and repeals other regulatory barriers that have hindered faster-than-sound flight and related research for 52 years. The order also instructs the FAA administrator to develop standards for supersonic aircraft noise certification that takes into consideration acceptability in communities, as well as economic reasonableness and technological feasibility. Airlines fight federal mandate for more flight deck security. A group of major U.S. airlines, represented by A4A, recently filed a petition to delay a federal mandate for secondary flight deck barriers. This generated some worthy confusion and criticism from pilot unions, including ALPA. Discussions surrounding improved flight deck security swirled rapidly after 4 aircraft were hijacked in September 2001, causing 2 to crash into the World Trade Center buildings, 1 into the Pentagon, and 1 into a Pennsylvania field. Almost immediately, the FAA mandated that all commercial aircraft operating in the U.S. be equipped with and use reinforced cockpit doors. That's it for today's trip around the patch. Let's get back to the rest of the news. Racers gear up for the 48th annual Women's Air Race Classic. More than 100 female pilots from across the U.S. are gearing up for a 2,426-mile, 9-state journey as part of the 48th Annual Air Race Classic. The fun officially begins in Fairhope, Alabama on June 17th. The original Women's Air Derby shifted through several forms, including the so-called Powder Puff Derby, before taking shape as the annual aviation event we now know and love as the Air Race Classic. The 2025 Air Race Classic will bring over 50 teams from across the nation, including several from accredited collegiate flight programs. Competitors work in groups of at least 2, each holding a minimum private pilot certificate and 100 PIC hours. One must have logged 500 hours as PIC or hold a current instrument rating. The duos are required to fly normally aspirated, piston-powered birds in visual conditions during the day. The teams will line up at Alabama's H.L. Sonny Callahan Airport, CQF, on June 17th to start the race. They will depart every 30 seconds, kicking off their 2,426 statute-mile path to Phelps Field in Spokane, Washington. Along the way, they'll cross 9 states and make stops in Starkville, Mississippi, Harrison, Arkansas, McPherson, Kansas, Sterling, Colorado, Gillette, Wyoming, Rock Springs, Wyoming, Jerome, Idaho, and La Grande, Oregon to get fuel and show off as desired. After these messages, failure to launch. Gilmour's Cockatoo is not guilty. Welcome back. Failure to launch. Gilmour's Cockatoo is not guilty. Australian launch provider Gilmour Space Technologies had to cancel a mission in May thanks to a nosy little bird, or so the internet had hoped. On May 16th, Gilmour Space canceled the mission when an electrical fault triggered deployment of the rocket's payload fairing prior to fueling. With the issue discovered, Gilmour put off the launch for a later date and got to work trying to figure out what went wrong. Not long after, the company's social media posted a whimsical still frame from one of their myriad system cameras, found as they methodically scrubbed through each and every second of footage for the problem's cause. Amazing what an anomaly investigation will uncover, they said, posting a picture of an Australian cockatoo nosing around in some unspecified cabling. They clarified that the cockatoo was not at fault, adding, quote, "P.S. While the struggle is real, no, the cockatoo was not the root cause of the anomaly. Anyone living in the city has stories of the damage cockatoos can cause, gnawing soft woods and prying into food containers as they please. But this incident can't be chalked up to their antics. There's nothing of interest to a cockatoo around the launch site, and unless there's peanut butter in those hydraulic lines, the bird likely took a test nibble and lost interest." And that's our show for today. You can catch episodes of Airborne on YouTube, Roku, or Fire TV. Just search for Aero-News or Airborne, and don't forget to follow us on social media. Thanks for watching!